Thank you for joining me for this second segment of Lord, Teach Me to Pray. Today we're going to look at a great prayer that was prayed by one of the kings of Judah, Asa. Asa, when he became king, unlike his father and his grandfather who ruled before him, Asa determined to walk in the ways of the Lord. And he began immediately to lead the people to destroy all the false idols and the Asherah poles and all the altars of incense that they had made to the gods of the surrounding nations. They had let those nations influence them. And Asa led them to turn their hearts back to God and to worship the one true God, the God of their fathers, the God that had freed them from bondage and led them into the promised land. And Asa, the people began to serve God and worship God, and Asa helped them, and the cities were built up. He established an army with over 300,000 men with shields and swords, and they were living a flourishing, godly life, the kingdom of Judah. Things were going great. They had peace. And then without warning, without being provoked, the enemy attacked. And this wasn't just any enemy. This was the Cushite army. And the scripture says that the Cushite army had thousands upon thousands. One translation says more than can be counted. The New King James Version says millions. Not only did they have 1,000,000 men in their army, they had over 300 chariots with horses and the latest weaponry. Asa realized immediately this was an impossible situation. There was no way his little army that looked like toy soldiers could fight against this vast, powerful army. So he did what we need to do when we face impossible situations, and that's he called out to God. And I want you to listen to his prayer that was prayed in 2 Chronicles chapter 14, verse 11. He prayed, "O Lord, there is no one like you to help the powerless against the mighty enemy. Help us, O Lord our God, for we rely on you, and in your name we come against this vast enemy army." Well, Asa gathers the troops, and the Lord so powerfully worked through this little army that not only did they rout the army and chase them away, but the scripture says they crushed the army. They annihilated this enemy of God. And everyone knew it wasn't the army that had the power. It was the army's God that had the power. So let's look at that prayer so we can pray this powerful yet simple prayer in our impossible situations. The first part of the prayer wasn't a yell for help. It was just an acknowledgement from Asa. Lord, there's no God like you. You're bigger than any problem. This problem hasn't caught you by surprise. You are the Lord of Lords, the King of Kings, the God of everything. You are the Lord God Almighty. You have no equal. You have no rival. You have all authority. You understand what's going on. So he just acknowledged, God, you're bigger than this problem. And then he acknowledged, I'm powerless. We are powerless. And that's where we need to be. God, we don't know how to solve this problem. We can't fix it. So we look to you. And then he gets into this little simple prayer. Help us, O Lord. And I want to encourage you to make that personal. Help me, O Lord. When we pray that, we can just breathe that prayer in any situation as we go throughout the day. And I personally have breathed that prayer in numerous situations. Walking into a conference meeting, help me, Lord, to keep my mouth shut. Help me, Lord, to speak up when I need to. Parenting my kids, help me, Lord. I don't know what to do. When I was fearful, when I was overwhelmed, when I was anxious, help me, Lord. When I stood at the bedside of a parent who was in her last days, help me, Lord. And God will help you as you breathe that prayer. And what that does, that invites God right in the middle of your problem, right in the middle of your thoughts. And he will help you. So Asa prays, help us, O Lord our God, for we rely on you. And in your name we come against this strong enemy. Who are you relying on today? I hope it's not your bank account or the news or your own wisdom or your own goodness. Rely on God. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and don't rely on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge Him and He will make your path straight. Rely on Him. Now, what I want you to do is to take your impossible situation. You know what it is. It's what keeps you up at night. It's what grips your heart with fear. It's what you've tried to fix and you can't. It's what you feel hopeless about. I want you to take that and I want you to hand that over to God and say, God, you're bigger than this problem. And I'm trusting you, God. I'm relying on you to help me. I don't know what to do. And just by that act of handing that over to God, that is the gateway to intimacy and power with God. So pray that prayer. Give Him your impossible situation. And just know, Satan's going to come and he's going to lie to you. And he's going to say, God's not interested in your problem. If you follow God and trust God, He's going to make your life miserable. You're too bad for God to answer your problem. That's a lie from Satan. So you just remind Satan, there's no one like my God. He is above all. He's over all. And you have no authority over Him. He has authority over all. I want to pray for you and I want to encourage you to give your impossible situations to God and pray to Him. Let's pray. Father, I just thank you that you are a God who has no equal. Lord, I pray for everyone who's listening and thinking about this frustrating, overwhelming financial situation or medical situation, emotional, relational, whatever it is that seems impossible and hopeless. Lord, I pray that they would just hand it over to you, the God who understands, who knows exactly what to do, that none of it has caught you by surprise. We thank you for that, Lord. And I pray that you would encourage us to look to you, to rely on you. And I pray these things in the name of Jesus. Amen. Well, I hope you will apply that prayer to your life. And there may be others that need to be reminded of that prayer. It comes from 2 Chronicles chapter 14, verse 11. But you may want to share this video with them, or you may want to call them and share with them what God's doing in your life. I hope you have a great Monday. I'll see you next week. Bye.